What's going on, good people? What's going on? It's your boy, Authentic Branch, and I'm back again with another good one for you today as I also kick off Wisdom Wednesday. Yes, every day I'm going to try to vlog and I'm going to have a different topic or different day to do different things. So, you know about the motivational Monday and the Tell It Like It Is Tuesday. Well, today is Wisdom Wednesday. So I actually got this, the Holy Spirit dropped this in my spirit as I was sleeping, as I was taking a nap, and it hit me. You know how you sleep but you're not sleep and you're still thinking? I'm pretty sure everybody out there has that same thing. It's not just me. I'm not crazy. It happens to everybody. All right. So as I was sleeping, I was allowing the Holy Spirit to just speak to me. I thought about something, and I'm forever thinking, I'm always thinking about life and how things kind of, in life put things together and all sorts of things. So anyway, you're probably gonna laugh when I tell you what I thought about and how in the world this applies to life. But I promise you, I hope I don't lose you, but I promise you it's gonna all make sense. All right, cool. So take it back to school. Everybody heard of PEMDAS, right? PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. The pneumatic rule to solving equations, right? And so as I started to think about that, I said the only way that you can accurately solve an equation is by following the steps. And it's pretty much, you have to go in order. You got to go parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, add, subtract. If you deviate from that, say you do multiplication before you do exponents, you're going to get a answer, but it's not going to be the right answer. And so as I started to think about that, pneumatic rule, I started thinking about life and how things in life, it flows better when things are in order, right? When things are blessed, when things are ordained in order, when things just go smoothly like they're supposed to. So I started thinking about that and it made sense. Every time that we deviate from our God-given plan in life, we may get a result, but we're not going to be happy with that result because it's not exactly like we wanted. It didn't come out the way that we wanted, or may just been a total failure. So we get frustrated and we're just thinking like, oh, what went wrong? Everything was going so well. And I just knew that this was going to be the outcome of it, because in our mind, we envision a certain outcome. Just like when we use PEMDAS, we envision that, hey, we're going to get the right answer, until we find out it's not the right answer. And it's definitely frustrating because it's a lot of work to do an equation like that, especially if you have all these different, variables with it. If you have something with parentheses, exponents, and then you have multiplication and division and add, subtracting, like you have to, know what you're doing and be in order to break that problem down. And so that's how I kind of, I thought about life as I was, of course, thinking about the equation, the rule and all. And so just follow me on this one, right? Say you have a big issue, you have a big problem, and you're just trying to figure out how to solve it, how to get the best resolution out of it, and you don't know where to start. So the cool thing about PEMDAS is it tells you where to start. You start small, but you always start P. You start with your parentheses. So if you think about it and you look at your problem, if there's any, parentheses in that equation, that's where you start working at. Now, when it relates to life, I would say, and I actually will say, because I do this for myself, I find out exactly what the problem is, because you don't know where to start if you can't identify the problem. So that's the big holistic problem. What is the problem? It could be relationship problem. It could be marital problems. It could be financial problems. It could be, as an example, it can be, hey, I have this past due bill coming up. I don't have the money for it, and they're about to come and turn my lights off, or they're about to come and repossess my car because I can't pay it. And so you understand in that, you know what the problem is. They're coming to take, cut off, whatever that you're working hard for is legal. And the problem is you don't know how to solve it. And so you begin to panic. You begin to try to figure out, how in the world can I get this money to pay this bill so I can keep what I have? And so you start problem solving. And in your problem solving, you start thinking, I know what the problem is. I know the solution. I just got to figure out how to do it. I got to figure out how to get this money. And so you have different variables of the problem, So when you start doing the work, meaning when you start, making calls to whoever you need to make calls to say, hey, can I get an extension? Can I work something out? What are my options? You're doing the work. They may or may not give you what you need. Say they don't, and you still have to come up with the money. Well, now you have to go and find out how you're going to get the money, whether it be by asking someone, going to get a loan, or in worst case, selling something in order to get what you need. You are finding solutions to your problem, even though it may not be the way that you would want it to come out. Because of course, who wants to sell something? Who wants to go borrow money from someone to pay something? But in the event when you don't have much, you have to do what you have to do. Totally understand it. So you find a solution. Say you call an uncle or aunt or your parents, and they say, hey, I'll give you the money that you need so you can save what you need. So you can save whatever you need to save, whatever. They give you the money. And you're able to solve the problem, because now the work that you had to do, you had to swallow pride. You had to just overcome a lot of emotions, which is work. That's the work, because you don't want to call people. You don't want to let people in on your business. You don't want to let people know that you're hurting. You need help. And that's a big part of you. So you got to work through all that emotion. You got to work through all of that in order to get the solution that you need. Now, you get final answer to your solution, because you actually get the money, you pay the bill, and you're fine. But it's that work that takes a lot. And it's just like you solving a problem, it takes a lot of work, because you have to break down that one big problem dozens different ways to get one simple answer. And it's the work that's going to get you through. It's the work that you don't want to do, but you need to do to get the results that you need to get. And the beautiful thing about doing a equation with PEMDAS, you have to show your work. You have to break down, how did you break down this parentheses? What was in the parentheses? How did you break down this exponent? How did you get this? How did you get that? In order to show your work, in order to prove that you got the right thing. And that's the same thing with life. Even if you make if you have an issue and you make something incorrect, make a choice incorrect, you always can go back and find out where, so you can correct it. Every problem has a correction. You can correct any problem. Know that. Any problem you can correct. And so the thing with that is you have to know where to start to correct. And so by showing your work, by going back and look at everything that you've done, you can go back and pinpoint, okay, everything was going smooth until I got here. When I got here, that's when things kind of got a little flaky. Let me start here. So you don't have to start all the way over. You just start back where you need to correct. Correct that, and everything falls in place. So don't think that because you didn't get the right outcome, the right results that you wanted, that you got to start all over. Sometimes, yes, you got to start all over from scratch. But a lot of times, it's just going back over your work. Go back over all the steps you made, everything that you've done, and find out what went wrong, and then correct it. Once you correct it and understand why, how you got the answer that you got the results that you got before, but by making those changes, you corrected it, and now everything is right, and everything else falls in place, and you got the right answer, you got the right solution. You are going to feel so much better because you went back and did something that a lot of people wouldn't do. They will probably like, oh, I got the wrong answer. Okay, let me start back over because it's something I missed. Granted, it might be, but a lot of times you already got most of the problem figured out. You just need to go back and look at those corrections, and that's the same thing in life. Don't ever think that you have to start all over unless you need to start back over on a clean slate. Always look at your work, look at what you've done, look how far you've come in life, and say, hey, I was doing well until this happened. Find out what that is and correct it. That correction might be a removal. Hey, I need to erase this out of my life and correct this problem. Or I need to go back and see if I actually did this problem right. If I actually went through and if it's actually a problem. Because sometimes we have issues and things in life and it's not actually an issue or a thing. We think it is, but it's not. Until we go back and reevaluate and realize it's just a minor error and not an actual mistake. So definitely go back and look at that just to double check yourself, fact check yourself, just to make sure that everything's good. Look, we are human. We're gonna have problems. We're gonna create problems. We're gonna make mistakes because we're not perfect. What I want to encourage you on is when you do, because we will, when you do make mistakes, when you do have issues, don't look at those issues as total failure. Look at those issues as a way to correct, a way to improve, and a way to make yourself better, a situation better. Don't look at it all as it's a waste, because it's not. Correction is not a waste. Correction is actually something that we all need. We all need to be corrected at any aspects of life. I need to be corrected as me being, me. I need to be corrected as a husband. I need to be corrected as a father. I need to be corrected as a child. As a friend, as a brother, as a sister, because I don't know everything. And if I don't know it, I would want to be corrected so that I can get it right. So I can be on one accord. So just give yourself grace when you have to go through those corrections in life. Give yourself grace knowing that, hey, I'm not perfect, but I'm going to work towards getting a perfect solution. I'm going to work towards correcting things so that I can move forward, so I can be better, so I can learn from it. Because if I learn from it, when I get to that situation again, I already know how to do it. I already know how to process it. Just like PEMDAS. Once you learn that, that rule and you get good at it, the equations, you can break those things down like it's nothing. Same thing with life. The more that you learn about your failures or your downfalls or your issues or anything like that, and learn how to go through life and correct it and give yourself grace to correct it, I promise you, you're going to be better off. And if you don't think so, which you should think it, other people are going to see it. Allow the people to validate your change because they're going to notice your change. But don't expect people to be the change for you. You have to be the change yourself. Only way you can be the change is to be accountable for yourself and be willing to give yourself grace and correct it. No matter how it feels. Sometimes correction is uncomfortable, but uncomfortable is what we need to grow. That is your Wednesday wisdom motivation word for the day. Know that I love y'all. I pray for y'all. And I'll see y'all next time. And as always, keep it authentic, baby.